Okay, I think I'm live. Just wondering if you can hear me. I'm trying to use my Bluetooth headphones. Is it working? Just waiting to see if anyone else is going to come over. Okay, you guys can hear me through my headset. All right. Well, Zeke was going to come on, but he's having tons of computer issues, server issues. Trip to Walmart didn't really help the situation, so I'm going to fill in for a minute here. Anyways, this is the gun that we were going to talk about tonight. This is it, the replacement James River uh, Factory 66 Type 56. Now this one you can see is a little bit better. The barrel pin's still a little bit cocked if you look at the top. Not quite as bad here, but you can see a little bit of a space in the top. Over on this side, you can see it a little bit more. It's kind of cocked and egged out a little bit. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about this. The first situation was really, really frustrating. Sent it back to them. They sent me this new one. It was supposedly a hand select. It's a little better, but I don't know. Let's zoom in on the rivets a little bit here. Okay, you can see from this angle, if you look at the rear trunnion rivet, it's kind of flattened out, and you can actually see a little gap right there where the receiver hole is exposed, and it didn't quite fill it up. I think it's due to my phone is why it looks like it's left-handed. I don't know how to fix that. This is my first time doing a live stream, so I'll try to figure it out. Sorry, guys. Okay, anyways, this rear rivet on the front trunnion, if you notice, there's a little bit of a space where it didn't quite fill the receiver hole. Reason why is this is a swell neck rivet, and you're supposed to dimple the receiver there a little bit with like a punch and make a little indentation so when that swell neck goes in there, it's going to expand and have a nice shape. In this case, they didn't do that. I don't know if James River doesn't know how to do that, or if they were just in such a rush they just skipped it. I'm really not sure, but I believe that's why that problem's occurring here. You'll notice the front too. Let me try to get it closer here. They're a little better, but you can see the very forward one's a little bit nicked. The selector markings are pretty cool. And I kind of like the slab-sided receiver too. Most of the time, people think that all AKMs are going to have the dimples, the mag dimples. Well, actually, this is correct. The Chinese did make some of them for export, I believe. Maybe some for their military, but mainly for their export guns. They did have this slab-sided receiver with no dimples in it. So that's actually pretty cool. What are these going for? This was $11.99 plus shipping, of course. A little bit of IO School of Rivet work. Oh man, I hope it's a little better than that. I'm hoping if I actually do shoot this gun, it won't fall apart like an IO. I'll turn it around over here. See if the camera will pick it up. These rivets are a little better. The very front one, yeah, the front one, there's a little bit of a ring. I don't know, the camera's not really showing it, but there's a little bit of a ring around the edge of it. not that good of work, but it's okay. I'd say acceptable. Not so much. I guess this middle one's okay. The rear, worse. I don't know if they really matter in wartime now, but this isn't really like my go-to rifle. I bought it because it's pretty hard to get a Chinese kit, and I don't know. I just thought it'd be kind of neat. So, anyways, a little bit about this gun. I can kind of tell you guys what my plans are for it. Basically, I already have one of these. Well, not exactly like this. A little better, actually. I have a 56-1 kit. You know, trying to look similar to this. But my original kit build has an original Chinese barrel on it. So it's a barreled kit, which to me makes it a lot cooler than this. And I had Turbo, Matt Yemens of Northwest Firearms. He did the build for me with one of his Chinese receivers. So that's my other 56-1. And it's a lot better. I like it quite a bit more. So I'm going to probably keep that one in the original configuration like this. I'm sorry I don't have it with me right now. I'm at my shop at work here. And my other one's back at home. But I'll do another one soon that shows you a few of the variants I have of this type of gun. Anyway, so I think I'm going to keep the other one that Turbo did. And keep that how it is. And then what I have for this gun is I have a new old stock Spiker front assembly from KFS in Georgia. So what I'm thinking about doing is taking off this front sight, putting on the Spiker, and then I have a lower handguard that has the spike cut in it that's a perfect match. You wouldn't even know that it didn't belong with this rifle that I can add to it. And then it'd be kind of cool because I have a couple variants. I'll have the double folder, 56-1, and then just the regular folder. Oh, and here's another reason. Here's another reason why I'm thinking about changing out the front sight. So this appears to be a Chinese sight, right? But then if you look closely at the front here, you'll notice there's no hole and therefore no spring and detent. So there's absolutely nothing to hold this from walking free, this little muzzle nut. So this is, I don't know, kind of makes this a little bit suspect because, I mean, this definitely is a Chinese front sight, don't get me wrong. I don't know if the camera will catch this angle. It's got a little Chinese proof mark in the back of number 2 that looks like pretty consistent with other Chinese stuff. So, I don't know. This might be a new Chinese front sight assembly. Virgin part possibly. I don't know. I kind of think it's Chinese though, just based on the general machining and then the proof marks that are on it. But it is kind of odd. Definitely odd. But there's definitely Chinese proofings on here no matter what. I'll have to take some still pictures and post them for you guys later. But anyways, yeah. Yeah, it would suck to lose the thread protector at the range. Actually, I believe this gun with the series that it is, the serial number range, with this being a 17 million, from some others I've observed, should have a sugar scoop actually. So this muzzle nut isn't really correct, I don't think, for this exact one. And this is a USA made, which Classic didn't say that. They said the other parts were 922R, like the trigger group, which is a Tapco. So to answer the question from earlier, the trigger feels okay when you pull it, because Tapcos generally have an okay break. But the problem is it has the classic Tapco hammer, where when you pull back, you can do the ghetto bolt hold open. Let me see if I can do it. Almost. There we go. Tapco bolt hold open. So, it's a Tapco. There we go. The classic Tapco bolt hold open right there. Forward assist. There you go. So, yeah, it's a Tapco, which I kind of hate. I hate how it messes with your bolt carrier tail. I also don't like that the actual trigger itself is too wide. This part right here that you grab onto, it's just too wide. The ComBlock triggers are about 30% thinner. They just feel a lot better. The stock's actually pretty tight. Just a little bit of room here, which is normal. The back part locks up pretty solid. Nice and tight. See, I'm tapping on it. It's not moving on its own. Have to really grab onto it nice. So that's pretty cool. Button feels nice. Push it in firmly. Locks right back in place. So no complaints there. They did a pretty good job with the fitting of the rear trunnion and the folder assembly, it appears. Did they slip these parts in recently, or are they from an old stash? I don't know. It's interesting. So by law, this is supposed to be in a neutral country other than China for, I believe, 20 years. So I know a lot of the Chinese guns that we got in recently, I should say, yeah, well, Chinese guns. Technically Chinese guns, legally not Chinese guns that we got recently came from Albania. So considering how a few years ago we got Albanian used Chinese manufacturer SKSs, I could guess that this one could have come from Albania. I can't prove it because this was either an unissued gun or something that was never completely put together. I mean, this is clearly brand new. Take it apart a little further for you guys. Matching number of the dust cover. Matching number on the spring guide rod assembly there. Matching carrier. Gosh, they put so much white grease on this, I can't really take it apart. Matching bolt body. And I mean, this sucker's brand new. I'll show you guys here the carrier tail, which always gets a little bit of peening on it. I mean, it's just like completely perfect. Like maybe fired once or twice, test fired by James River. That's about it. I mean, there's a little bit of carbon on the piston, so I'm thinking fired, 2 or 3 times. So that's pretty cool. Brand new, unissued. I mean, the polished metal surfaces there are just perfect. There's no signs of pitting or anything. Okay, let's see here. A lot of Chinese AKs in Africa. Yeah, I agree. A lot of Chinese AKs in all kinds of third world countries, really. Why don't we get parts kits from Africa? I don't know, actually. I know international trade is really complicated, especially when it comes to arms trade. I mean, especially Bill Clinton signed so many different arms trade agreements, small arms agreements in the 90s, it wasn't even funny. That's the reason why the Albanian SKSs are rare-ish, because the vast majority were actually destroyed as part of some kind of treaty or arms agreement that Bill Clinton made in the 90s. So if I had to speculate, I'd say we probably just don't have very good trade agreements with the African countries, or our government's just using it as a reason to kind of keep these guns away from us. Okay, let me show this message here. Yeah, for guys that want more of a precision trigger, I've seen Mr. F&H talk about this trigger in the past, and I've also heard a good many reviews, and yeah, they're supposed to be a really good trigger. I'm more of a ComBlock guy myself. I like the little bit heavier trigger pull, but there's nothing wrong with putting a good trigger. It's going to help your groups a lot, and if you guys are into that sort of thing, probably a lot faster follow-up shots too. The Red Star arms. I've heard a lot of good stuff. Yeah, so did Bush and Obama. Yeah, Bush and Obama also signed plenty of executive orders. And even Trump. Trump's the reason for the Molot ban. People say, wow, it was just part of the Kalashnikov concern that Obama had done 2 years previous. That may be true, but it's still on Trump, to be honest. Trump could have instantly canceled it or signed it away if he wanted to. Like nothing. Trump could literally sign all this stuff away right now, actually. Trump could sign away the Chinese ban. He could sign away the 7 and 6. He could get rid of the Molot ban, the Kalashnikov concern ban. He could get rid of all of it in literally minutes. Let me see here. The Elfman trigger. Yep, I've heard about that too. If you've got the money, they're not cheap. I do like the Chinese trigger. They're pretty good. Oh yeah, speaking of which, let me turn around here and find these. I did a quick video the other day and I got a new old stock Polytech complete trigger group here. And I'm not going to say on the internet that I'm going to put this in this gun, but let's just say it'd be nice if I did. And then I've got one of the Polytech sugar scoop slant brakes. So I think that'd be pretty cool too. And then the other, that spiker assembly I was telling you guys about, I've got that too. It's the same type of Polytech, you know, and they're shrink wrapping, like how they sell the stuff. And it's also brand new. I just don't have it here with me, but I'm thinking maybe this James River would be a pretty cool double folder. Because like I said, I've already got one that I'm a lot more happy with. That was an original barreled military parts kit that Turbo built for me on one of his receiver, you know, shell clones that he makes. So I think I'm going to keep that one as just a single folder and then turn this James River into a double folder. A 56-1 double folder. Because right now my other double folder is an RAI, it's called. They call them movie guns. It's an early import. And it's got the underfolding stock and the front folding bayonet. It's really cool, but it's still not a 56-1. I really think it'll be badass to have a double folder that actually has the military stampings on it. Let's see what else we have here in the comments. Yeah, I actually blame the NRA on all the bans too. Not only the Russian bans, but pretty much all the bans. I mean, the NRA basically wrote the Gun Control Act of 1968. They wrote the Hughes Amendment in 86, and they told Reagan just sign the Firearms Owners Protection Act, otherwise known as FOPA. They said sign it. It's going to give firearms owners a lot of extra rights, which it actually did. But don't worry about this pesky Hughes Amendment. Just sign it with the poison pill in it, and we'll sue them to oblivion, and we'll take it to court, and the court will throw it out. It'll never stick. So Reagan, although he was really reluctant to sign the Firearms Owners Protection Act, he signed it because the NRA said they were in his corner, and they never sued. They never did anything. So here we are today, and machine guns are illegal to transfer to most civilians unless they were made before 86. And yeah. And now it's gotten so sad, it's like we're never going to get our machine guns back, I don't think. Because you look at even people like Justice Scalia. Scalia's like, you know, the lion of the Second Amendment in our lifetime. And even he said in the Heller case that the Second Amendment doesn't protect like machine guns or fully automatic guns. So it's not looking good to ever get them back. And we can thank the NRA for that too. Let's see here. Chris Cox. Yeah. Here's the thing. He's not actually emailing you. He doesn't have. He was way too busy golfing and taking bribes to email you. That's just his secretary with his name on the bottom. Oh, you stop being a part of them. Well, if you stop being a part of them, you get like 10 times more calls. Trust me. You know, I tried to do the same thing that that Mac did, Military Arms Channel, and I asked them if they rescind and take back my life membership, and haven't heard back from them. It's kind of like a cult. Like once you get in, you can't get out. Yeah, the GOA seems pretty good so far. Um, I'm suspicious of any gun rights group nowadays, but they seem pretty good. I'm also support the GOA. I'm a member. Yeah, the bump stock ban. I mean, first of all, just to ban the bump stocks in and of themselves is terrible. I mean, that's just completely unacceptable. But I think most of you guys in here already know it's not just bump stocks. That's the problem. These triggers that you guys were talking about, Matteo, Mr. FNH, you could kiss those triggers goodbye, possibly. I mean, if you literally read the wording of the supposed bump stock ban, it would ban these triggers because I know for a fact both of those triggers are going to increase the rate of fire over a stock AK trigger. That's obvious. Francis, I agree with you that it helps, but I know some of the popular YouTubers did spread awareness about these bans when they happened. I know Mac did it. Mr. Guns and Gear was right on top of the last few. I know when the 7 and 6 came out, he was there within like minutes, it seemed like. Same thing with Kalashnikov Concern and Molot. Mr. Guns and Gear has been right there. Mac's been right there. Chad and Eric over at IV8888, they get on it usually, but I noticed a couple weeks later. I think it helps. I really do, but apparently it's not enough. Um, because for some reason Trump feels comfortable thinking that he has a Second Amendment vote, but he also felt comfortable giving Jeff Sessions a directive to ban these bump stocks, which again aren't bump stocks. They're basically, it could be hundreds of things. Let's see here. The government has no business getting in our personal life. I would agree, but agree, but that's all I can say to that. But, the government is supposed to be the people. If you read the Declaration of Independence, all of us are supposed to be the government. These are just people that work for us to carry out our duties that we assign to them, to enact for our government. It's not even supposed to have gotten even close to where it is now, where we feel like we have to ask the government's permission or we have to fear that they're going to ban the next thing. I mean, I don't know. If you guys haven't read the Declaration of Independence lately, I go read it. I've read it many times. I just read it again a couple nights ago. My daughter wanted me to tell her a bedtime story. She's 6 years old. And I said, well, what are we going to talk about? And I don't know. So I pulled out the Declaration of Independence and read it to her. And I think she liked it. She was asleep by the time I was done. But no, Warsaw, there is no but. I was saying but like in a snarky way, like, but look what we have now. No, we are the government. All of us right here are the government, I truly believe. And these people are elected representatives and senators. That's what they are. They work for us. They're our employees. That's what I believe. And I believe we need to get to firing a whole bunch of them real quick. Jeremy, yes, stop the M855 ban dead in its tracks. Yes, we did. And I think that goes back to that's kind of like America's rifle. That's like the line in the sand. A lot of these other ones, I mean, here's the problem. As far as the gun community, we still have a lot of people in the gun community. They get on the AK side of things or the AR side of things. Then they want to fight. I was watching a real famous live stream just the other day. And they had a former YouTuber that was just getting famous and he quit. And he was a guest on this other guy's stream. Without saying any names, you guys may guess. But he used to do a gun drama section in his videos. And then he quit YouTube all of a sudden, right? So anyways, he was on this other famous YouTube channel doing a stream. And they brought the AK up. And he said something along the lines of, nah, I don't shoot AKs because I'm an American. So we have a lot of these really big people, big popular faces in the media of the gun industry, and they're going to throw the AK under the bus. So that's why 7 and 6 was able to be banned so easy. Not many people cared. I hate to say it, but some of the AR guys were even kind of happy about it. I have no idea why. I just seem to remember reading that in quite a few chats at the time. Um, yeah, it's an outdated piece of paper according to Bernie. Bernie and Ocasio Cortez, is that her name? Yeah, just an outdated piece of parchment paper. Nothing more, nothing less. Gosh, those guys are idiots. Yep. That's what Francis is talking about. Same thing I was saying. No one stopped the 7 and 6 ban, but everyone, including Fox News, talked about the M855. I know you still see all these people talking about their shotguns too, saying, "Why do you need a 5.56 to kill a deer? It's way too powerful, and you can keep your shotgun." Here's what's funny: I live in Michigan, right? We can't even use an AR-15 in Michigan because the DNR here has prohibited hunting with any sort of 22 caliber because it's not considered to be lethal force enough for a humane kill. So that's what's so hilarious about the about the M855. According to the government of my state, not even powerful enough for a humane kill. And then you see all these people on the media saying things like, if you shot a deer with an AR-15, you wouldn't even have any meat left. There'd be nothing left. But then in Michigan, they say, no, you can't use an AR because it's not powerful enough to be guaranteed to have a nice, humane one-shot kill. It's just hilarious. No, Warsaw, the AR is absolutely not banned in Michigan. It's not banned whatsoever. What I'm saying is you're not allowed to use 22 caliber rifles to hunt in the state of Michigan. Because, like I was saying, they feel that it's not powerful enough of a round for a humane kill. I could guess that they probably meant the 22 long rifle, but they just kind of didn't word it that way. And they just worded it as a 22 caliber, which then in essence encompasses the 5.56 obviously. But no, absolutely nothing like that banned in Michigan. I'm trying to think if we ban anything here. I really don't think there's any bans in Michigan whatsoever. And we also have state law, state preemption in Michigan, where if a local jurisdiction like, say, Detroit wanted to ban the AR-15, they could not. The laws coming out of Lansing here, the law of the land, and no state can make a more infringing right. Or not infringing right. They can't be more infringing on a right, is what I meant to say, than the state. So yeah, we can have all the big drum magazines. We can own all the NFA guns if they're legal. Yeah, I was just saying for hunting, they're not. For hunting deer, they're not. You could use them for small game, rabbits, all that. That's not a problem. Let me see what else you guys are saying here. Warsaw Patriot, I'm an AK and an AR guy. Sure. I'm just a gun guy is what I am. I mean, I'm a gun guy. Rarely found a gun I don't like, to be honest. Yeah, just wait. Bloomberg's donating hundreds of millions of his cash to buy Congress. The one at gun control. Oh, yeah. Well, him and Soros. I saw recently somewhere that Soros had given 200 and I think it was 70 or 290 million dollars to just 100 people. I mean, that's like $3 million a piece. Yeah, yep. They're buying them, and then the same guy, you've got Bloomberg. So, well, what did he say? You couldn't have any bigger than like a 16-ounce soda in New York? So just try to tell me that a guy that won't let you drink more than 16 ounces of soda pop, he's not going to try to tell you how many rounds you can have in your firearm. Give me a break. It's totally obvious. Jeez, I'm just having to sit here and hit the show button. Someone's swearing so much I have to keep on approving. I don't even know how to make anybody a moderator, guys. This is my first time doing this. If you don't boo me off the stage too much and I start getting to doing these again, I'll figure out how to make somebody in here a moderator. How many shakes you get at the urinal? Do you guys remember that old, I think it's Blink 182 song? Where he said, shake it once, you're all right. Shake it twice, you're okay. Shake it 3 times, you're playing with yourself. Look that song up. I think it was Blink 182. Oh, I love that song. I used to listen to that kind of stuff back in the day. You know what? Bloomberg would literally walk up behind you while you're at the urinal and not even give you the courtesy of a reach around. That's literally what he would do. He probably does it all the time, actually. But I don't live in New York. Let's see. What do I agree with? Let me see here. Yeah. Yeah, that they don't know anything about guns. I totally agree. They know nothing about guns at all. I mean, just look at the 30 caliber clip guy. You guys remember him, right? Kevin DeLeon, which I think is the head of the state senate now in California. With him, you know, with this whole thing. Here, let me grab one for you guys to show you what he was doing. This is a ghost gun. It has a 30 caliber clip. It can shoot 600 rounds per second. I don't know, I didn't do a good job. Oh, Deerfield, Illinois. Yeah, that's not the exact example, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, this is a Chinese Type 53, Warsaw. Let me see if I can get in on the markings here. This one was manufactured in 1954.8, it says for the date. And it was manufactured in factory 296. You know, this is my my go-to Type 53. This gun here is so freaking accurate. I mean, I can blow up one of those little half pound, 1 pound, whatever they are, the small tannerites. I can hit one of these pretty much every time, just setting it on the ground at the field at like 250, 300 yards. First, second shot from standing position, which I think is pretty impressive for an old gun like this with open sights, you know. Bayonet fixed. I don't know if you guys know this or not. I'm sure you do, but a little piece of trivia: with these variants, like your Chinese Type 53, your M44 variants, you know, the Russians, the Hungarians, the Polish. Who am I missing here? Romania, Hungary, Poland. Yeah. Anyways, all those variants of the M44, they used to actually sight these rifles in with the bayonet affixed. So, by technicality, if your sights are still adjusted to how they last were in service, you should fix your bayonet to, you know, it kind of changes the barrel harmonics a little bit. Yeah, I've shot my my M44 variants out further than 250, 300. I'm just saying I can hit a little teeny jar at about 250 to 300 pretty much first shot with this gun. It's out in the middle of a field, kind of blending in with the clumps of dirt. So, out of all my different Mosins, this is probably my go-to if I just want to go plink a little bit. It's in decent shape for a Chinese. There's no rust on it, really. Actually, there is no rust on it. It's got that like real dark-looking shellac, and you can kind of see the white on there. For some reason, a lot of these Chinese imports have like the water stains. You know, like if you have a nice piece of hardwood furniture at your house and you set like the cold glass of water or whatever on it, take it off, dry it, and then it's got like the white ring. That's what this stock has on it. And I found it's actually pretty typical. Oops, sorry guys. Just hit my table. Yeah, there it is. It's just like this white watermark, but I don't know. I leave it there because it just kind of goes with the whole patina of the gun. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, 30 caliber clip in half a second. Yep, that's what it was. 30 caliber clip in half a second. I did a short video if you guys are bored, where things I learned from the media, I think, where I showed my version of what a clip is and magazine is and stuff. I kind of like to make these stupid little videos that I think are funny. Let me see what else here. I shot my M44 at 400 yards and a steel gong. That's pretty cool. Back in 2017. Come on, man. 2017? That's not that long ago. When you get to be my age and you say, like, back in the day, it's got to be the 1990s or 80s. Like, it has to be. I don't know about you guys, but before you can say way back in a certain year, it has to be 99 or older. It just has to be. Like, you can't say back in 2000 or back in 2001. Let's see here. Warsaw says, I would like to see a Soviet-given Chinese service 9130. Haven't seen that. Yeah, this Chinese Type 53, this is a nice gun to take out in the woods. I take it out back 4th of July. This is my 4th of July boom boom gun. It's just weird how it gets sometimes. I mean, I have so many guns, guys. Quite a few. I've been collecting a long time. And, you know, I'm not going to tell you this is my favorite gun, because it's not. But for some reason, this sucker right here is the one I just like to grab. I don't even know why. I just reach for it and take it outside. I don't know. I think I'm in love with it. But, yeah. There's always a gun like that in the collection. Yeah, Matteo agrees. Yeah. Way back has to be outside the decade you're in at the very least. Which that reminds me, back when I was single, there used to be an old saying, it's not cheating if it's in a different zip code. So it's kind of like that, you know, as long as you get a few miles or 10 years between you, you're usually pretty good to go. Warsaw, do I own any Mausers? Yeah, I do. You're seriously asking me if there's a certain military surplus if I own any of them. No, I'm just messing with you. Yeah, I've got quite a few Mausers. Do you want to see a last ditch German right now? I've got one of those a few feet behind me. Keep in mind, guys, I'm at my shop. My collection's at my house. These are just like I don't know, I'm such a gun nerd. I always have to have just a few auxiliary ones laying around wherever I go. All right, hold on. Let me go. I got a Mauser right back here, actually. All right. Okay, I think it's in the frame now. This is a German K98. DOU 44. If you look at the front barrel band, you'll see there's no provision for a bayonet. Just kind of crudely welded across the bottom. I don't think last ditch is really the correct name for it, but let's just say it was kind of one of their later cost cutting and time cutting measures that they did. Some of these later Mausers, as the Germans were kind of starting to lose the war, they would nix the front bayonet lug. So LXR proof on the magazine follower. This particular one has the Waffen-Ops peened out on it. Probably from whoever captured it. Although this one doesn't have Russian capture marks like some of mine do. Yeah, war expedient. Yeah, you could call it a war expedient type of thing. I'd say that's a good word for it. You can see it's got matching barrel and receiver. The later, you know, Mod 98 that's just in the regular block type set. rather than kind of the older ones that have more of the old English look, if you will. But yeah. Oh, let's see what else you guys are saying here. Yeah, K98, yep. Yugo Mausers? Yugo Mausers are pretty cool. I also have one of those Yugo 98s. Yugo K98s, if you will, where it's a I guess you call it like, I don't know if it's Yugo captured or if it was just like surplus parts at the factory, but it's basically a K98 and it says Mod 98 on the side, but then it has the Yugo crest here, and then it has the Yugoslavian wood. So I've got one of those. I guess you call them like Yugo transitionals before they went to their their post-war M48. Let's see here. Yugoslavia used to have the M24, the 2447. Those are all cool guns too. Yeah, is that what you're talking about, Warsaw? What I was saying, the German but captured. Did they actually put the Yugoslavian crest on there, and then fed it with the Yugo wood? Matteo, yeah. That's how it goes. Like we were saying before, where I think me and Zeke were talking about it. When someone's into Mausers, they usually don't have one Mauser. It's always like rooms and rooms of Mausers. That's why I can't call myself a Mauser collector. I've got, probably, oh, I don't know. I might have 5 or 6 German Mausers, and then through all the other countries, maybe another dozen or so. Maybe 20 Mausers in the collection total ish. Which, trust me, by no means does that make me a that does not make me a Mauser collector. Trust me, not even close. German original stock, yeah, yeah. I think I have one like that too. I don't know if there's any guns you guys are curious about. I can do this again and bring a couple more out. SS marking. I don't know. I'd check on that. SS markings on a Mauser. I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say about that. You're heading up to Indy for one of them tomorrow, for Mausers. Gotcha. What kind of Mauser is it gonna be? A German? What, a Czech or Yugo? Spanish Mauser? I kind of like the Spanish Mausers too. I forgot about those. I don't have any Spanish Mausers here, but I do have me a few Spanish Mausers. Especially the old 7mm. Those are pretty cool. Let me see here in the comments. A Polish service World War II Mauser. Like one that was made like in a Polish labor camp, or I know my G43, Gerver 43. I know that markings on that indicate it was made in a concentration camp, which isn't a good thing at all, but I still think it's pretty cool to have it because it kind of shows the fall of fascism and socialism, Nazism. Oh, not to get off on a tangent, guys, but who thinks it's like crazy stupid how, as conservatives, the liberals like to call us, and I don't know if everyone's a conservative here, I'm just saying, but the liberals a lot of times like to call the conservatives the Nazis. These same people that support Bernie Sanders, the socialist, call conservatives Nazis, when in fact, Nazi loosely translates to like the National German Socialist Party or something. Socialist Workers' Party. I know I got that wrong, but I know socialism is in the name Nazi, in the acronym. So, it's just so screwed up. Like, I totally hate Nazis. 100%. Modern Nazis, old Nazis, can't stand any of them. I just think it's really cool about having a piece of Nazi history that just shows that we were able to overcome socialism in that generation. And now we have these war trophies right here. Mr. FNH. I'm Nazi about keeping my guns. Yeah. Well, when it comes to being like a gun Nazi, well, yeah, if you use Nazi as a verb, sure. I just hate the actual Nazis. And let's see here. Yeah, Mario kind of clarified what I was trying to say. Yeah, the people spouting Nazi are the people who subscribe to the fascist socialist values. I think there's another saying for that too, like the pot calling the kettle black. Mr. FNH, words don't actually mean anything anymore. You're right in the context you're using it in, but you're wrong too, though, because words don't matter like for them. But if we use the wrong word, just look out. I mean, so yeah, words don't mean anything unless you're conservative. Then every word you say can and will be held against you. I'm gonna go put this Mauser back and see if I can find something else you guys might like. If you guys are getting annoyed with me reaching over and grabbing guns, let me know. I'm just kind of this is my first live stream, and the live streams I've always liked the most are where they talk a little bit about, talk with the guys in the chat and talk about guns, and then they kind of reach for the guns and show them. So I'm just kind of doing in my stream what I always like to see in other people's. Thanks, Warsaw. Yeah, I know what you mean. I've been called all kinds of wrong words too. Oh, you guys were talking in Zeke's stream about AK pistols, so I wanted to throw this one by you guys here. Anyone know what this is? Treat guns as if they're always loaded, which they are loaded. Yep, this is the Romanian 9mm. I think this one's actually the PAC 9, not the NAC 9. It's technically the AK9 by definition. If you look at the, well, you kind of have to read it. It's a whole paragraph. Let's see if you guys can see that. Okay, so it's the AK9. It's Chiappa, USA, Dayton, Ohio, made in Romania by Nova Modul, but then it also says Charles Daly as a secondary importer. So, yeah, it's kind of. So, yeah, so I had to have a brace for it immediately. So I got the folding. See, the folding adapter. Put on a Shockwave CAC buffer tube. And I'm trying to remember who made this folding brace adapter. I actually bought it from Misha, the Mishako channel. He's a buddy of mine, and he owns a gun shop, and I called him up, and we were talking about his when he did his YouTube video on this, on his version of this gun, and I said, you know what, do you have any extra adapters? And he did. I think it was made by, I just can't remember now. I'll let you guys know who made the adapter, but and it was just a pretty cool gun. With the brace, you can get right in there real close. Nice, compact package. Works pretty good. And it's just a dream to shoot, too. I mean, no recoil whatsoever. I will tell you guys one thing about this gun, though. I bought a couple of those cheap Korean mags one time. I don't know, for like $5 or $10 a piece. And I tried them in this gun, and nope. They don't like them at all. Let's see what this one is. Okay, this is a Magpul. The Magpul worked just fine. It also likes these OEM Glock mags. These are good to go too. Korean mags, I tried 5 different Korean mags, nothing. I also tried, and this kind of bummed me out, one of these. And nope, this didn't work very well either. Works great in other guns, but for some reason this Romanian pistol likes Glock OEM or Magpul. That's pretty much it. Okay, let me see. There's a few comments here. Too bad it ain't in 7.62 by 25. I know, man. We were talking about that the other night. I think that would be the baddest ass thing, like literally in the whole world, if someone would make a little shorty pistol in 7.62 by 25. And in the AK platform, obviously. That'd be so awesome. Oh, let's see here. It's an AK mouth. It's an AK that fell out of the ugly tree and hit every single branch on the way down. I like it. Yeah. That is why I like it. It's so ugly, it's cute, really. Let's see here. Can I suppress it? In theory, but if you notice, they didn't thread the muzzle. So, I have a die where I could thread it. So, I thought about it. I probably will, actually. Now, unlike that Chinese gun I was showing you guys, they do actually have the provision for the detent and spring in the front. So, I will give Charles Daly / Romania / Chiappa a little bit more credit than James River there. Wish we could do a, Lucky Warsaw says, wish you could do a Google Hangout with Zeke and Glock Shooter. Yeah, that'd be cool. Are you saying over the internet? Because I don't know. I don't really know much about you guys' gun laws. Yeah, Mr. FNH, I think I could pull off suppressing this. I really do. I mean, it's a direct blowback, so it should be fine. Yeah, I'll show you guys. It's kind of got the Creek style dust cover, which is pretty cool. Just hinges up and stays attached. I like that. Short little recoil spring. And then it has the spacer. The only issue I have with this spacer is, if you look closely, you can see where the middle of it had a crack in it after I shot like the first mag. Let me see if I can show you this. Look right in the middle, you can see a hairline crack where the little U shape is. And I super glued it, and I was all worried about it. And then I got on the phone with my buddy Misha and was talking to him about it because I knew he had this gun a little bit before me. And he said, dude, don't even worry about it because on the new ones they're shipping, they cut this whole U-shape section out of it where it's just like 2 little forks now, and it's not even connected in the middle. So obviously that's not really to worry about too much. But this is just a spacer that fits rearward of the carrier, and all it's simply doing, see, there it is keeping the carrier from popping out and riding up out of the rails. Which, if you guys have watched Zeke's channel for a while, Zeke did a video a while back showing how some of the IO AKs, the carrier can actually ride out of the rails. But in this case, it's not really the same as IO. I shouldn't even mention that. This is totally different. This isn't due to the fact that they didn't machine the rails properly. In this case, it's just due to it being a 9mm blowback. There's no gas tube in the front to off-vent any gas. And if you look at here, the piston, if you will, is just a slug of metal, solid metal, just to add extra weight. Because obviously on a direct blowback like this, the only thing that's going to slow down the motion is just the sheer weight of the carrier and bolt assembly. The bolt face is machined into this solid billet or forging or whatever you want to call it. There's no extra bolt that comes out like in a traditional AK variant. It's all just built in. This is a carrier, if you will, and bolt all in one. I would actually just call this a bolt, not a bolt carrier. I'm just using the term carrier because that's what we're familiar with. But it's got some weight to it. I don't know. Probably a couple pounds just here. And then in the front, if you look, this is literally just a spot for the where the gas tube would be. It's just a spot for that bolt to go into. You can literally see right through the gas tube. See me through there? So, again, that's just the gas piston, if you will. It's not a gas piston. It's just a little extra mass. But yeah, I kind of like it. I don't know if you guys can still get these or not for that price, but check it out. I think this was like $450 maybe. And it came with the extra Glock magwell adapter. And then, of course, in the box, it came with the Beretta magwell adapter and a couple off-brand Beretta mags, like the Beretta 92. Well, let's see what you guys are talking about here. Ace folder. No, it's not an Ace folder. It's made by, gosh, I can't think of the name of them, guys. I'm sorry. It's a famous company, and I bought some of their stuff before, but I'll think of it. As soon as I get off of here, I'll think of it, of course. PPS 43 mag fed. That'd be awesome, man. I have a couple PPS 43Cs, and then I have one with an actual operable stock. And a ton of mags. I was buying all those PPS 43 parts kits when Centerfire had them for like $69.99, and then once in a while they put them on sale for like $49.99 for a parts kit that came with like 3 mags. And then one time, I think out of the blue, they had it where it was the whole parts kit, 3 mags, and then 3 extra mags for $49.99. So yeah, I've got a shitload of PPS 43 mags. That'd be awesome. Let's see here. We're talking about the Raz. Yeah, you guys can just talk about the Raz 47. I don't. I only like to talk about AKs. I don't like to talk about the Raz 47. Carolina Shooter Supply. Nope, I bought from there. Yep, Stormworks. I think. That's exactly who it is, Stormworks. As soon as you said that. This is a Stormworks. If Stormworks is the company that closes for a month out of the year in the summer for like family time, then that's them for sure. Because I remember the reason why I couldn't order it, that's what it was. I wanted the Stormworks. It is them. I wanted the Stormworks. I just got this gun. I couldn't wait a month. I went on their website, and it was like, say they were closed for the month of June. This was like June 2nd. And I was looking on there. I'm like, are you kidding me? There's no way I'm going to wait a month to put a folder on this. So my buddy Misha came to the rescue, and he had one. And he, I paid him for it, and he shipped it to me. But yeah, Stormworks. Thanks, Matteo. Let's see. Jeremy, see that German company applied for approval to bring in SDG 44s, FG 42s, MP 38s. Are those parts kits or somebody making a new production? I haven't had a chance to read that one yet. You guys are talking about the P1? Are you talking about the P01 CZ75 or the German P1, the P38 variant? Okay, SSD in Germany, new production. That'd be pretty cool because I was really waiting for them to the Hill and Mac. I was really waiting for Hill and Macs to come out, and seems like they've tried their hardest and they've tried some more, but I don't know, guys. I don't want to put those guys down because I think it's pretty cool what they're doing, but I don't know if we're ever going to see a Hill and Mac Gunworks that's beyond prototype. I really have no idea. Let's see here. CZP01 with the NATO serial. Okay, that's cool. I'm not an expert on those. I'm more of a Milsurp guy. But I know what a CZP01 is. Planning on opening a plant in Kentucky. I assume you mean that German company. I hope they can pull it off, man. Here's the problem: every time you got like Kalashnikov USA now, that's not really Kalashnikov. Um, I don't know. Seems like anytime these companies come here, and then they have to try to make a gun here that was formerly good in another country, they just have a hard time pulling it off. I don't know why. I don't want it to be that way. I'm an American business owner myself, so of course I support the local business, but gosh dang it, guys. Well, you know, with all the geniuses in this country, if someone in this country can't learn how to make an AK soon, I don't know what to say. Hill and Mac should make more Satmiels. Yeah, I know. I'd like to get one. I have a couple buddies with them, and all they do is rub it in. I've heard that's an excellent, excellent build. And if they would have stuck with building the Satmiels, they seem to be good to go there. They could have just kept doing it. Yeah, what a shame. Oh, let's see here. The BD44. They've been making them for the Euro market for a while. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I'm not familiar. I don't own an MP44. Let's see here. Have I ever been on the Crazy Scotsman streams? Nope. I'm actually not familiar with him. Is he a gun guy or what? Yeah, Mal, that'd be pretty cool. I have a couple Satme C kits I've been looking at, which I know is a totally different gun, but still. Let me think if I have any Satmes here at this shop. Got me a few Satmes. I'm just trying to see if there's any here or not. I don't know. I kind of like roller delayed guns a little bit. I like my PTR 91. I like some of the Satme variants. Let's see here, Warsaw. He's a good friend of yours. That's cool. A gun guy. Okay. Yeah, Mal, that'd be pretty cool. You've got the jigs too. I would like to see that. Let me see here what you guys are talking about. Okay, I'm reading further up. So this Crazy Scotsman, he's all pistols, sounds like. Maybe a couple rifles. Yeah, man, I'm really into the Cold War era surplus pistols too, World War II pistols. I'm trying to think of what I have with me at the shop here. Oh, I got another cool AK pistol. Hold on, guys. I gotta walk away from my phone to grab it, but there's another pistol here. If I don't break my neck, as you guys can see, this shop's a little bit treacherous here sometimes. It's all good though. This is a working man's shop. I assume Mel would be at home in this shop, even though it's a lot messier than his. All right, here's a pistol. Let's see if anyone knows what this is. Like, somebody better know what this is within about 30 seconds. If you guys are AK guys. I'll give you a hint. It's made in the same country as that pistol I showed you. You're close, Warsaw. Okay, Francis got you. I don't know, man. I don't know. Who should we say got it? Warsaw came up with Draco first. Romanian Draco. But there's like 3 versions of the Draco. There's the regular Draco, there's the mini Draco, and the micro Draco. And this is the micro Draco. So, I'm gonna say Francis got that one for sure, 100%. And I had no encouragement from the crowd either. Trust me, Warsaw. Uh, this is kind of messed up though. Like when we're in Zeke streams, I sit and laugh at people, and you guys don't even know for sure if I'm laughing. And I just realized by looking down, you guys can actually see when I'm laughing at you. So I'm sorry, Warsaw, you caught me laughing at you, but I'll give you like kind of like minor props for you came close, man. You were like almost. You almost whatever. But I haven't even shot this gun yet. These guns, if you guys remember, they came into the country a few years back. Yeah, Francis, you did win something. You won props from a YouTuber that has like 36 subscribers, so. uh, anyways, these guns came into the country like I'm gonna guess, let's just say 5 years ago, right? And they were pretty cheap. And I kind of looked at it and scoffed at it a little bit, like I don't know, whatever, who cares? And then they just were gone all of a sudden, just out of the blue. And you couldn't get them for like 4 more years. And then they started going up in value quite a bit. They got really hard to get, and I was seeing them going on Gunbroker for like $800-900, and there's no way, guys. I would like literally never spend $1,000 for this. So there's another small shipment that just came in of these just a few months ago. A local gun shop got this, and I really, really like to support the local gun shop when I can. So I bought this off him for $700. I'm looking at the tag right now. $700. So it's still kind of a lot to spend, but hey, it's a factory built AK flamethrower. Mel's right. That's actually what it really is. Warsaw, you should like this. You said you don't really like flamethrowers as much as guns, but this is a flamethrower and a gun. And of course, you know I had to put the 40 round mag in it. I mean, if the mag's like longer than the gun, then you know you're good to go. Like this would have to piss off that Kevin DeLeon and all those people. So I mean, it's like the 40 round mag is certainly what 3/4 of this whole gun. So yeah. I think it's a pretty cool look. Let's see here. Warsaw, you want to see a Viz Radom? Don't have one. Not only do I not have one here, but I don't have one at all. Matty, yeah, I agree with you. It does neuter the round. If you want a short little, personal defense weapon, and you want a 30 cal intermediate, I'd say that's what 300 Blackout excels in. I would agree with you. But, look how cool this is, dude. I mean, come on. This isn't really a gun where I can like tell you why I bought it. It's just more like why not. You know what I mean? Like I can't tell you guys why I bought this, but I'd like to see you tell me why not. You know what I'm saying? Jeremy sub, thanks man, that's cool. Build a 12-inch LR 243 pistol once. There's a flamethrower. Like that Chinese Type 53 I had out earlier. That's a flamethrower too, for sure. Let's see here. Man, let's see. I was supposed to be coming on with Zeke tonight, guys, and like I said, I just have these few guns that were just kind of like literally laying around the shop. But I do have some pretty cool Polish guns if I do this again. Oh, you want to see the Yugo AK? Which one? I've got, let's see here. At this shop right now, I've got a couple fixed stock PAPs. I've got an end PAPs. I've got an underfolder end PAP. And then I've got a pretty cool milled folding. Are you talking about the one right behind me? That's an M64. Two Rivers re-weld. Okay, the milled underfolder. Yeah, let me put this flamethrower away. I'll be right back. I also have a it's not a mill, but I also have one of the Yugo underfolder RPKs over here too. But I think this is the one you're talking about. So this is actually the first time I've showed this gun to anybody online. This is what you call a Yugo M64. That's what they're a so-called M64. I'm gonna say, okay, just to clarify, guys. It's really an early version of the M70 variant, but to collectors in this country, it's generally known as an M64. So I know some of you guys that know a little bit about this will say, well, it's not, it's technically an M70. Yes, it is, but you kind of usually call this an M64 if you want people to really know what it is. All right, the sling's getting caught up here for me. So what makes this gun a little bit unique is you've got the it's a mill receiver. It's not a Type 1, obviously. Not really a Type 3 either. It starts to look like it from here. But when we flip the gun around, notice the front portion. See how it has like that taper to it, where all of a sudden it just tapers off under the rear sight base? I mean, this is definitely a pretty uniquely shaped receiver compared to most. And then you can see this little screw over here. That's the provision for the famous bolt hold open. That's the other thing that makes this gun completely different. So it also has the provisions for the grenade launching. Where you can take off this muzzle nut, screw on the grenade launching spigot, pull your ladder sight up, which, as you guys already probably know, turns off the gas, turns it into a single shot, so it can focus all of its energy on that rifle grenade. And by the way, too, I've had a few people, call this an RPK in the past. Just so you guys know, this is not an RPK. This is an early type milled M70. Welded by Tim at Two Rivers. I think a couple of you guys are familiar. I know, Francis, you said you know Two Rivers. Two River Arms. It's got the, authentic, the UR and J selector markings, which I know aren't pronounced UR or J in Yugoslavian, but whatever, they pronounce everything weird. This has got an original front part. I'm trying to show you guys where he did the re-weld. It's pretty hard to tell because he did a decent job, but the re-weld portion is right here. See that little band where it's just a little different color? That's where Tim did the weld. And as you guys probably already know, by him re-welding a legally demilled receiver, right? So let me back up. First of all, for these, once a machine gun, always a machine gun, as you guys probably already know. So you cannot convert a machine gun into a non-machine gun. It's not legal. But the way around it is you first have to destroy the firearm and make it not a firearm by ATF standards, which in this case, the firearm was cut into pieces with a small section missing, right? So now all of a sudden it becomes not a firearm. Well, once it becomes not a firearm, it's no longer a machine gun. So then it can go ahead and be re-welded, as it's called. And even though 90% of the metal here is from Yugoslavia and completely original, this is by definition becomes an American receiver now. So since this receiver was technically made here in America, not from a machine gun, this becomes a legal semi-auto. Let's see here. Oh, thanks, Francis. I kind of like it too. I've been wanting one of these for a long time. I just got this gun recently, actually. Yes, it is an original barrel. Yes, sir. Yep. Another cool thing, if you guys are familiar with the Yugo pistol grips, they're normally the same type of pattern plastic right up to the top. But you'll notice this has a metal ferrule on it. And it just depends how much you're into AKs, guys. Some people could care less, wouldn't even notice. But trust me, if you're trying to find this part is so tough to get. Like, there's literally probably, like, I'm not even joking, 100,000 of the all plastic grips out there for every one of these with the metal on top. Whatever. I mean, it is what it is, but how I am, if I'm going to have a gun like this that's a re-weld, I want everything to be as authentic as possible. So it's kind of a big deal for me. Let's see here. Okay, so you guys are familiar with some of the well, let's back up here. Basically, the AK is not bolt hole open, right? It just doesn't have that feature. There's been a few things people have done over the years, like they cut the little notch in the selector where you can pull it back manually and stop it with the selector, but that's not really a bolt hold open, right? And then earlier, I showed you guys on that James River Chinese, there's the Tapco Gatto bolt hold open, which that's not either. That's not a bolt hold open. And then the third type of bolt hold open is where you have the bolt hold open follower, like in the Yugo mags, right? But as you guys probably know, that's not even a true bolt hold open, because when you go to do that, yeah, it'll hold it open on the last round, so you can look and check to make sure that you're empty. But then as soon as you remove the mag, the bolt just slides forward anyways. Well, the M64 is the only kind of AK that I know of with this exact technology. I know Sega did something a little bit with their bolt hold opens, but this has an actual true bolt hold open device. And from what I understand, talking to Two Rivers about this gun when I bought it, not many of these kit builds have a functioning bolt hold open device. The story on this gun is they were building this one. Tim rewelded it actually for an employee that works for Two Rivers Arms. So this wasn't a kit that I sent in. I bought this gun from a guy that currently does work at Two Rivers. He does all their stamped builds. And he had this kit and wanted it rewelded. So, of course, they took care of him because he works there, right? So he wanted a functioning bolt hold open, which, again, depends how much you know about these guns. To have a functioning bolt hold open on one of these is really, really tough. So what they did is Two Rivers actually contracted with Turbo, the guy I was talking about earlier, and had him make the bolt hold open device for this gun. He sent it over to Two Rivers, and they put the bolt hold open device in. So this actually, I'll show you guys how it works here. So we fired our last round, bolt holds open, right? Then we remove the magazine, bolt stays open. Now there's an actual bolt hold open device in here that engages with the follower. And if you look at this mag, this is the M64 mag. See that little notch cut out of the top section there? That little notch allows the bolt hold open device to actually protrude into the magazine feeding area, and then the follower is able to put pressure on it. And then with a little bit of it's like a spring loaded, like a leaf spring type of tab, holds it back and actually keeps pressure on the bolt. Now if I want it to go home, I just give it a slight tug, it releases tension, and it goes right back home. So, I don't know, sorry to bore you guys, but this is literally like the only model of AK, these Yugo M64s, that has that. So I thought maybe you guys might be curious about that, you know. Let's see here. How is the barrel? Is it in good shape? Yeah, man, it's actually in pretty good shape. Let me see if I have a bullet here. I'm not sure if I have a round here, but it passes the bullet test with ease, I'll tell you that. I mean, they're still easily 40-50% of the bullet exposed when you put it in the muzzle, which isn't bad at all for a Yugo barrel. Bolt hold open devices shouldn't even be on AKs. Well, yeah. Okay, here's the deal, guys. I like the bolt hold open device on this gun because it makes it a cool, rare variant, right? So, like, here's how I am. No, I don't want a bolt hold open device on virtually any other AK but this. I think they're overrated, overhyped, everything you guys are saying, okay? Literally. I agree with you. But I like to collect, right? So since this gun was actually made for military service with this bolt hold open device, I think it's really cool that it has it, right? I think you guys know what I'm saying. So there's that bolt hold open device again where it screws into there. You can see the original factory roll mark is still on the side of the receiver section. What would it be? Zastava Kragujevec? I don't know. I can't say it, but I'm trying to see if there's a way for my cell phone camera to actually pick up this bolt hold open device. It's kind of weird. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this or not. You can kind of see it right there. You can see the little tab that sticks up, and it's like a leaf spring. That's about the best I can get it, but so yep, this has got an original sling and a oil bottle pouch. This is all original surplus stuff. Brass oil bottle. Oh, let's see here. I must have missed a good comment. Let me see here. Worse slap to my face. What? What's going on here? Oh, I better read a few more. Okay. Okay. Look at my movie comment. But hold open devices shouldn't be on AKs. I agree, but it's cool that it's on this one, right? Like I was saying. Let's see here. I don't know what movie code is it, guys. I'm sorry. I don't. There's a movie code. I just don't see it here. Like I'm being like major geeky, guys, about like this little teeny nuanced model of AK about you know, with the bolt hold open and stuff. It's hard to read every comment. Like when you have a bolt hold open AK, right? You like don't even need to watch movies, okay? No, worse, I literally don't see it. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Oh, okay. There's a movie called Demons of War, a Polish film. Okay, let me back up here. Okay, in the Yugoslavian wars, the Polish military stepped in. They were peacekeeping in the conflicts in Bosnia. Okay. I'll have to check that out. I get what you're saying. Okay. Alright, thanks, Warsaw. No, man, I wasn't dissing you. Well, I was dissing you, man. I was just totally ignoring you, okay? But yeah. Now, one count about this gun, real quick, guys. Can anyone think of a reason why, like, one thing that might be kind of tough with this gun? Let's just say, like, a common part that you normally can interchange pretty easy on your AK. That's the hint I'm going to give you. What would be the problem on this gun that you'd run into? If anyone, I'm hoping Warsaw can be the first one to think of this. Oh, Mal smoked you. Yeah, it's the mag, right? So with that bolt hold open device, if the mag does not have this cutout to relieve that area, it just like simply doesn't want to insert. And then I guess if you jammed it in hard enough, you could probably break the bolt hold open device. And then I take this gun from being like rather rare and cool down to like NPAP grade instantly. So yeah, you've got to have this mag. This does not take regular AKM or milled AK-47 type mags. It literally only takes M64 mags. The interesting thing about these mags is a lot of them were fit later on with the Yugo bolt hold open follower. You can see the back of that. So here's what's interesting. This can be used in a regular M70 Yugo. That works great. You just can't go the other way around. You have to use, so this mag's forward compatible, right, with the other Yugos, but the other Yugo mags are absolutely not backwards compatible with this. So you could call this a proprietary mag, yep. Or if you wanted to, you could get in there and do a little with maybe some little grinding or Dremel or 10 snips or something. You could probably figure it out. So this particular mag here has the bolt hold open follower. Let me see if I have any. I have a couple other of these mags sitting here. Let me see. I know I have one of these M64 mags. It's kind of cool. And it actually has the original non-bolt hold open follower. So like the regular AKM style follower. Hold on, guys. I have boxes of mags just randomly sitting underneath my desk. Here's another one, which also has the updated Yugo bolt hold open follower in it. It's another one. Okay, here's one right here. Here's a perfect example. This is the original one, right? So this has the spot for the bolt hold open device. Then if you look at the follower, it's got the traditional AKM style follower in it without the bolt hold open in the back. So this is an actual original M64 mag that Yugoslavia never got around to updating. So there we go. I knew I had one somewhere down here. Yeah, I got a box of these. I don't just have a box of mags underneath me. I also have a specific box of only M64 mags. Because it's a new gun, so I had to get them out. Let's see here. Matteo says, I get a kick out of some of the bolt hold open mags, but I can live without that feature. But at the range, it's okay. Yeah. I'm not even a fan of the bolt hold open, really. I just think that if it's a Yugo gun, it should have the Yugo bolt hold open follower. And then if it's this particular M64 with the bolt hold open device, it obviously has to have the one with the slot cut. So that's kind of where I'm at. Thanks, Warsaw. Yeah, I kind of like this gun, man. Matteo says, "Oh, you too, Glock?" Yeah, yeah. I know you've got a box of mags under your desk too. I doubt there's even one person in this whole stream that doesn't have a box of mags and ammo under the desk. Yeah, boxes full of AK mags, AR or HK. Francis, the Bosnian mag with the emblem. Yeah, I got one of those. That's pretty cool. I'm not like crazy about collecting the AK mags, but I've got a little collection. Let's see here. Where's my? I'll put this one in here. Let's see here. Mill receiver. Mill receivers are pretty cool. I don't mind a mill receiver at all. Especially this one. I mean, man, this gun's so smooth. And this isn't me bragging about my gun. This is just saying, if you guys ever get the time and money, I'd have Tim at Two Rivers re-weld you a gun. I mean, it's just, I mean, it's nice. Let's see here. Open closet, pile of Bakelite spills. No, Mel, you've got the right amount of mags. Like, how many mags do you need? I don't know. I can't count that high, right? That's how many I would say you need. Okay, hold on again, guys. We were talking about mags. I have a cool mag you might like. If I don't have an avalanche and count myself trying to get to it because it's like on the top shelf. Ugh. Okay. Ah, what the hell? I'll grab two cool mags. Okay, here's a couple mags I think are pretty cool. See if anyone knows what this is. See if I can find the... They didn't proof this one very deep. You can kind of see the proof mark back there. Jeremy's the winner. Come on, Warsaw. I was rooting for you, buddy. Yep, this is a slab side Russian. So this would be like an earlier generation Russian. That'd be more appropriate with like a milled Russian AK rather than an AKM. I mean, this sucker's got some weight to it, right? Like it's pretty tough. Warsaw, I saw a good amount of those on Robert RTG. Saw or currently? These kind of come and go, but they tend to go more than they come. So if you can find these, I'd get me one. These are a pretty cool piece of history. And they're blued too. This is back when the Russians were still blue and everything. And then obviously after that they switched to the paint. Here's another one that I think is pretty cool. Now I went from the heaviest one to probably the lightest one. And this one's got real clear proof marks. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus. Lots and lots of proof marks on it. Yeah. I'm sorry guys, I'm using my cell phone here. Anyways. This would be an aluminum waffle mag. It weighs virtually nothing. I mean, literally, I'm going to say maybe like 15%. Like, I literally think you could have 6 of these, you know, in the same weight as one of these slab sides. They used to have these on Legion USA. Actually, I bought this exact one from Legion, to be honest. It's like in brand new condition too, man. I bought a few of these and one of their Molot RPK drums. And, I mean, this thing's like hand select perfect. Like, literally new old stock, right? Mr. FNH, looks space age for the 50s. Yeah, you're right, man. It's got like that. Yeah, it's like retro modern. It's got the little Ijevsk symbol in it. Some Cyrillic writing. It's got the diamond with the CB in it. Diamond with E and then like the Cyrillic A. I think these are pretty cool. These are actually a couple of my favorite mags that I have here right now. Oh, let's see here. Matty, I need some more FAL mags. Of course you do. If you can count how many, then you don't have enough. Let's see here. Metric mags. Yeah, the FAL could be metric or what they call supposed standard pattern. That's not really the proper name for it, but you could say like the English pattern, right? The British pattern or the metric. Let's see here. Let's play AK Mag Jeopardy. What is Tula Bakelite Longback? Yeah, so there's like I think what you're talking about is they're like the 30 round mags, right? But then they actually are like extended. They have like another section on them where they're like as long as pretty much a 40 round mag, but they're a 30. Unless I'm talking about another variant. But I am aware of the variant where it's got the I almost call it like the Bakelite 30 with an extendo, right? Let's see here. Anyone else bought the Russian Grade B AK mags that Legion just got in? No, I was thinking about it. I looked at those the other day. I don't know. I bought a bunch of the Grade A ones when they had those. And then I bought a ton of them from Robert RTG years ago. So I'm kind of not really sure. When they say Grade B, I kind of like, you know. Mel says, I'm not a mag collector either, but I buy a lot of mags. Not because they're rare. Just think you should have a lot of mags for your firearms. I agree with you for the most part. I definitely agree with you that you should have a lot of mags, of course. But I might be just like a little different. I might collect them ish, just a little more than you. But it's not really that I collect the mags themselves. I just want to have these different mags. So if I ever can afford an early Russian kit, right? Like a Russian mill kit, if I could ever afford one. And then if I could wait the 2 years for Tim at Two Rivers to weld it, then I would want this mag to go with it, right? So the only reason you'll find I have a little collection of rare mags is because I always want to have one of each variant so that I can like match them up with the correct era gun. Because this whole AK thing for me, a lot of it is just really liking the history behind it, the different conflicts, the wars, just the story behind it, you know. And these cool mags kind of help me tell the story a little bit. Someone said Russian Bakelite. Okay, hold on 30 seconds. I'm going into the other room where the lights aren't on right now, so if I don't die, I'll be right back. Let's see here. 27 bucks at Legion. Yeah, I mean, nowadays that's not bad. Anything Russian, I guess get it while you can. Not to rub it in, but let's just say back about, I'm going to guess 7 years ago. Robert RTG. 30 round Russian grade A mags. I think $9.99. And then the 40 round Russian grade A mags, $13.99. And this isn't like 30 years ago. This is just a few years back. So if you look at what's been going on with Russian stuff, I guess, yeah. At first, in other words, I wanted to say 27 bucks seems a little bit high. But, I don't know, man. 27 now? Okay, once Legion dries up, then what, 37, 47, 100? I don't even know. I don't know if we're ever going to be able to get Soviet stuff again. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the market now. You know, it's like, see, it's worth it. Why not? You know, I've never hardly lost out on a Milcert purchase. It seems like they kind of always just keep going up and up and up. Here's another Russian mag. I know everyone knows what this is instantly. These are pretty cool. I like these quite a bit. Speaking of Legion USA, you guys were talking about that. I put this out. Oh, Warsaw won. Oh, Jeremy, man, Warsaw got you, dude. So, speaking of Legion USA, sounds like you guys like them. This is one of their AKMs, guys. If you want to take a peek at it. This is a 1973 Tula. Hand selected for me, of course. I did a video on this, guys. The one where I was doing a parody of of Zeke Shoots when he was making fun of Nothing Fancy, and then I did one and made fun of him too. That was this gun. So this is, as I described in the other video, this is one that Misha, I'm sure you guys all know Misha Co on YouTube. He's like pretty awesome. If you don't know him, you probably should, right? So he said he knows those people, and he's a dealer, and he got them to do a very limited run of these. And instead of having the green mountain barrel like a Legion AKM typically has, these have the Polish barrels. So this has the FB Radon Polish barrel with an all-matching 1973 Tula kit. I must say, this is a pretty nice gun. I mean, fit and finish is pretty good. Rivets, nice. I mean, here's a perfect example of like why you have to dimple the receiver. Let's look at this Legion here compared to the Chinese I showed you guys earlier. Let's see if we can get that to remotely focus. I feel like I need to turn this light off. Let me see if this does something. No. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see the rivet. They did a good job. And if you can see the Legion roll mark, there you go. You can see the Legion roll mark. It's a real Legion USA. Jeremy, man, you're my kind of guy, man. You know all the nuances about all this stuff. Yeah. The only thing, so I would agree with what Jeremy said. The only thing he doesn't like is the finish. Yeah. So their finish is just a little bit off from the Russian finish. The only thing I got to give them props on, though, is they didn't refinish the original Russian parts. So that's pretty cool. So, but the problem with that is if you look at the gas tube, now look at the gas, now look at the barrel. And I guess on this, I'll take that back. They did refinish some of the Russian parts. So the gas tube has original Russian finish. And then you can just see the difference in the color, the darkness. Yeah, I think that's coming in for you guys a little bit. I'm kind of looking at my computer screen. It's clearly, they clearly aren't able to quite match up the Russian paint. That's about the only thing I'll knock Legion for. But I will say they know how to build a gun. I mean, oh, and here's the killer thing too. They never do this on any new guns. This has an original Russian trigger group in it. Like I was saying, the profile of the trigger is like 30% thinner. It's smooth. And then listen to how smooth this thing cycles compared to that ghetto bolt hold open tap coat bullshit. I mean, it's just like, I mean, look at that. Can you guys tell? I know it's hard over a video, but this has to be like probably the smoothest. I mean, listen. I mean, this is like greased butter. Like, you would have to dip butter in bacon grease to be smoother. I mean, it's just awesome. Let's see here. Let me look at the comments here. How when you pull it back, is it stiff? I'm not sure what you mean by that. The recoil spring has plenty of spring tension. Obviously, when I fire, here, you can watch the trigger break and listen to that. So it's got some take up. Quite a bit of take up and grit. This is all normal. This is a mil spec trigger, right? And then just normal break. Perfectly acceptable con block trigger. So when I pull it back, of course it's going to be like more resistance the first time until I overcome and reset the hammer, if that's what you're saying, right? Okay, so when the hammer's fired, again, take up. See, there's the take up. This is normal. This is the kind of trigger you want on a select fire weapon in combat. You don't want to be like going along and like hear a little noise and oh, it's a raccoon, and just like spray at it, right? You want to have that little bit where if your finger bumps, you're okay. So this is perfectly normal, right? to have, see the take up? But then once you get the take up out of it, it hits a wall. And then just click, done. Now I'm going to pull it back. It's got some resistance, but just smooth. Smooth as a baby's ass. So, yeah, man, I'll give Legion props all day on their building abilities. Really good builders there. Of course, I'm sure you guys already know this, but they actually are Russian people. Like, they're Russians that used to work at the Izhevsk Russia factory, and they're here. I'm not sure if they're citizens or on work visas, but these are like real deal Russians, right? Selector markings, yeah. So this is a Childers CG1, so that means it's the Polish shell. So this is, you'll like this, Warsaw. This is actually Polish steel. Blank or 80%, whatever you want to call it, that came into the country. And it does have the, and then Childers Receivers turns it into a fully functional receiver. And you can see it does have the Russian Cyrillic writing on it there. Hopefully those will come in. I'm sorry, guys. I don't do this much. I realize I need to change my lighting a little bit. Let's see here. All right, Mel. Good night, man. I'm gonna be getting off here in a minute, anyways. Let me check the chat and see if you guys had anything else to say. Warsaw, I would like to have either a Russian Soviet MILD Type 3 or an AK-47 or a Polish MILD. Yeah, me too. Yeah, Mel, the light behind me is making it hard to see the marks. I'm going to have to, I've never done this, so if I do this again, I think it could only get better. I don't think I could do much worse. Mr. F&H, $10 mags at a pawn shop. Heck yeah. Oh, Chinese ones you're saying. Let me back up here. Okay, Mr. F&H, man, I'm missing the good stuff up here. Circle 10 mags, badass. Okay, so Mr. F&H got a Triangle 36 AK-47 drum mag for 80 bucks. That's nice. That's nice. Worth probably triple that now. 6 Chinese spineless mags for 10 bucks a piece. That's awesome. That's cool, man. I like that stuff too. I got a little mag collection. Did you guys know there is also a 100 round Chinese drum mag too? I was able to score one of those. If you're not familiar, look it up. Those are pretty cool. Let's see here. The Type 3 AK-47 is the one I've seen in the movie Lord of War. Okay. $10 mags at a pawn shop. Yep. Let's see here. Smooth like butter. Yep. Oh boy. Well, yeah, there's gonna be some sick jokes after Warsaw. I just read. You said how is it when you pull it back? Is it stiff? No pull. Trust me, no pull here. I'm nothing like that going on. Okay. Oh, Francis has a Legion USA AKM, a 1966 Tula. Nice, nice. Like, if you have one, then you know how cool they are. I get it now. Let's see. Some mobsters used PMMD63s other day to rob a place. All right, I can't help it, guys. I was going to try to get off, but somebody had to mention PM Model 63, so hold on one second. Like, by the way, if you guys haven't noticed, I'm like eclectic as fuck when it comes to guns. So we can be talking about AKs, and then you can instantly just bring up something random, and you'll totally sidetrack me, right? And then I'll just be off on that tangent. So if you just randomly say something like Polish MD 63, yeah. So give me a second. Now there's so many freaking mags on this desk. Okay, the mag boxes under the desk are full. I'll get this, guys. Don't worry. Okay, here's a holster. PM Model 63 rack. Is that what you guys are talking about? Here we go. Let's see. What else have we got here? Sling. I don't want to take all this shit out of the bag, but we've got the folding foregrip, handguard, cleaning kit. Here we go. I'm sorry. Like somebody literally randomly had to say Polish PM Model 63 rack, and I don't know. I can't help myself. Like I said, if I start doing these streams and you guys come in here, you have to really watch Sam random stuff, because if you want me to talk about AKs, I won't be able to stay focused if you start talking about submachine guns. And actually, you know what I'm thinking though, is I'm actually thinking about doing starting to do a stream from time to time and actually not really do it focus on the AK. That's Zeke's thing, and I like to watch him do it. I wouldn't mind doing a channel with some other random stuff, right? So, Mr. F&H, yes, this is a build kit. Here we go. This is an unissued build kit. I know Warsaw's going to like that. There's your Radom logo. 1969. Yes, this is a build kit. I think I already said that though. Okay. This is the D-mill receiver. So this would be like the example I was kind of giving you guys with that M64. So once you get it to this point and you've torch cut, see the slag from the torch cut there? Well, this is no longer a firearm. So at this point in time, the once a machine gun, always a machine gun thing no longer applies. 922R doesn't apply to this specific part anymore. This is not a gun. This is a paperweight, right? So that M64 that I showed you earlier, that was brought into the country like this. Of course, it didn't look like this, but you get what I'm saying, right? So it was brought into the country like this, and it's not a gun. Now, if I were to have the skills, damn it, if I don't drop all my parts, hold on a second, I might need that trigger guard later. If I were to have the skill to be able to re-weld this back together again, and I make this into a gun, and I make it semi-auto, this now becomes an American-made receiver, right? And it was never a machine gun from the beginning, so we're good to go. So just a quick history on that for whoever cares. Let's see what else we got here. I don't want to bore you guys. Small parts are boring, but here's part of the original, demilled barrel with the locking lugs. This is kind of cool, actually. Let me see here. Where's my cut receiver? So you can see the receiver has the locking lugs right there, and then the barrel. Let's see if I can do this. See how it locks up into the. Maybe you guys can see that. Okay. But yeah, unfortunately, this was imported fairly recently, after the Bush 43, the second George Bush, said that machine gun barrels now were also considered machine guns, so those can't be imported either. So that's why the barrels got on this. Where, as with my M64 Yugo, that has the original barrel because this parts kit was brought into the country before the Bush barrel ban. 9mm. I don't know about that. This is a 7.62 by 25. Oh, let me look at the comments. So, anyways, oh, here's a couple of mags. Let me show you guys the mags while we're at it. The PM Model 63 mags. Here's the Extendo, right, as they call it. There we go. But yeah, I kind of like this little build kit here. It's pretty cool. I wish I had a real one, like a transferable. All right, let me put this away. Give me 1 second. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here in like the next 2 minutes. Let me just read the chat real quick and see if there was anything else interesting. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yep, I think I answered Mr. FNH. Yep, this is a build kit. I have a barrel for it too. I just don't have it here. I bought the barrel off of Robert RTG. Had a couple barrels a little while back. He might still have them. Does anyone make a PM63 and 9mm? There's one company that actually makes the PM Model 63 rack, period, and that's Pioneer Arms. And they made a very, very, very limited amount, and they're pretty big money. I think it's still a current offering. They make the PPS 43C. They make that completely garbage AKM Sporter and that Hell Pup pistol, which seems to be okay-ish. I have one of those. And then they make the they do make a rack, a Polish rack. All right, any other questions, guys, or anything? I don't know. I think I'm getting ready to get off here. How much are we talking for the PM63? Well, here's the thing. It's got a welded stock, just so you know, right? And it's got a fixed, that little front foregrip that collapses down, that's fixed too. So they had to kind of like bastardize it, right? To keep it from being an SBR and make it a pistol. But you could get a tax stamp and unbastardize the poor gun and turn it back into its original thing, right? So, anyways, with that said, the pistol was like $2,200, I believe, Warsaw. And there's only like one distributor in the United States that has them. I should say as of 2 weeks ago, they had them still. Which kind of sounds like a ripoff, but it's kind of not that bad because I like dare you to actually find a functioning PM63 rack in this country. It's pretty tough. But I definitely want to convert it back into a folder, right? Like to where that cool little front folding grip. That's the coolest part. Wish WBP could fix this. I know. Like, why can't it's back to this again? Why can't WBP or somebody make a 7.62 by 25 AK? You know how badass that would be, especially in a pistol, taking the PPS 43 mags. Man, that might be my favorite gun if they did that. I'm not even kidding. Okay, let's see here. All right, guys, if you have anything else to say, go ahead. I'm getting ready to wrap it up here, and I'm kind of honored that I had 7 or 8 people watch, and this is my first time doing this. And I feel most of you guys are already my buddies because of Zeke's chat, so I just hopefully I didn't bore you too much. And if I did, hopefully you're asleep by now. If that's the point, hopefully I did a good job putting you to sleep too. All right, if that's it, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks, Jeremy. I'll try to do this again. If only I can figure out how to turn this thing off. Let's see here. Oh, thanks, Matteo, FNH, Francis, Jeremy, Warsaw. All right, cool, guys. I love you guys too. All right, have a good one.